You deserve this.
This is the best day of my life.
I had it coming. The karma train has hit me hard. Just this morning on Twitter, I made fun of Lava Wave, and apparently this is what I get. But yeah, I have to work through that. I got tricked.
Yeah, we're not one of those to be a dead horse when it comes to jokes, but we do have a tweet to come in here.
Since when?
HGC.
I thought that's exactly what we are. That's where we excel.
Caldor seems to have seen the light or the fire. Lava Wave is the best ultimate in that game, and the rumors that Trickster forced me to write this tweet are not true. Hashtag HGC, hashtag get tricked.
Can confirm.
Diamond Skin facing off against Tricked Esport. Tricked Esport just showing off the new meta changes right now, up 2-0. And as we get ready for game number 3, what do you think you have to do if you're Diamond Skin to shut down such powerful play?
Obviously, the first thing that you have to do right out of the gate is you first pick Ragnaros, and then you take Lava Wave, and then you win the game.
Sounds good to me. Can we check out the battleground? The plan's ready. Let's go. Battleground number 3 as we figure out. Oh, hang on. I just got juked by Josh there. He was too busy reading that tweet and enjoying the words from Caldor. But don't worry. We're ready to go to game number 3.
That's not what he did. He actually watched the Lava Wave video over and over again. He's like, I should probably do that in my own games now.
That's right. Well, here's the battleground. A Sky Temple has been picked up. Tricked Esports will be going to the battleground. Diamond Skin elects to take first pick instead. And that will have a chance for Tricked Esports to end it with a 3-0, or, of course, Diamond Skin starts to mount the comeback.
I love that the first thing that happened when I tweeted that out earlier, that Alex liked it and retweeted it. Alex, you let me down. If I see you, you guys make it to the Western Clash, the two of us are going to have a very long talk.
The two of us will fist bump. Because you deserve it, man. Awesome to see there. Yeah, Grandpa K even tweeted, he was like, we did it. That's for you, Trickster. It was hard, but we did it. You know what? I can appreciate that. But no, moving to the Sky Temple.
How much did you pay them? Like, what was the bribe?
I mean,
just love.
I don't even know I have to pay them, but I'm willing. Like, his contract doesn't have to be signed. Here you go. Here's some money. Under the table, no taxes, nothing. We're good to go. As we set up for Sky Temple, though, it's time to set up for the draft. We've seen Dahak on this battleground. I don't think we'll be seeing Lava Wave on this battleground, sadly. It is a bit hard to pull off. You really need to make sure that you control the temple phases, and Rag sadly does not really excel in that area.
That would be quite the stand in the meta, though, if they would pull it off here as well. But they have the 2-0, so all jokes aside, a 2-0 lead for Trick now, looking dominant on Battlefield of Eternity, and then with a very stellar performance here as well on the last map, Tomb, especially since Diamond Skin took a lead and took 2 keeps down.
Diamond Skin was in full control there. They really showed that their early game is coming forward. And it's kind of been the theme for them in the last few weeks. Their early game has been pretty good. They've had some moments where they've gotten a couple of kills. It surprised us. But one of the main issues is they're just not quite ending their games. It's very similar to Leftovers, right? They're in a situation where at least they've gotten a win over Team Liquid. But when it comes to actual control of the field and going towards that late game and winning the clutch moments, that's where they're falling flat. So we need to find them in a spot where they're able to deliver in that scenario.
Yeah, no, of course, the chance for Diamond Skin to also make a bit of a comeback here. But Trick, they have been all over the place. And this is a problem that they had now in so many seasons already. When we were in 2017, they had sometimes stellar play. Then they come in the next week and they just can't deliver. And this is what we're looking for right now. Can they find the consistency that would allow them to go to the clashes? So something to definitely check out now. And let's see how Sky Temple is going to work out for them. I mean, at this point, both of the teams, of course, desperate for a victory. First of all, Trick wants the 3-0, and Diamond Skin wants to start that comeback.
If anything, at least this is a battleground that can play to the strengths of Diamond Skin. Even though Tricked Esport came in with the pick, Diamond Skin, with their early game aggression, could net out a couple of kills, control a point, and then take the map. It's one of those battlegrounds that you can control a temple phase and be able to break down your opponent if you get an early lead. So that could work out here for Diamond Skin.
Yeah, traditionally it was a really good map actually for Trick. That's one of the reasons why they take the map now, because they have played 2 games here and they won both of them. Whereas Diamond Skin has not won they only played 1 game on the map and they lost it. So for Trick, this has been a strong battleground so far, not so much for Diamond Skin, and that's one of the reasons why Trick picked the map, just simply saying, okay guys, we can clean it out here right now, and we're going to find out if they can do that. The first thing that happens is that Diamond Skin actually bans out Tyrael. So acknowledging that Tyrael has a bit of added value on the map, not only for the fights around the temples, where the shields that you get with Law and Order after 13, but also with Justice for All on level 1, the synergy between the two islands can be crucial, but also because Sanctification can be just so powerful in boss fights.
And you just can't ignore the boss control, as you mentioned. So Tyrael taken away, and Diamond Skin will get their hands on Tracer for the first time in this series, as he's been banned out in game number 1 and game number 2.
And who does the leave open? Blaze.
Blaze.
So we could actually see Blaze being played. Alex went into Ragnaros on game number 2. And on the first map, we've seen him on Tyrael. This is the first opportunity that they have to get Blaze in the game. And as you might remember, Blaze has risen in priority. We've seen him nearly as a first pick, or at least in the second rotation as a pick every time. That's also true for this map. So Tracer taken on Diamond Skin's side. Question now, do you follow up with Malfurion? They played Malfurion twice. Do you take Malfurion away from Tracer? Or how do you play around it?
I wouldn't mind having Malfurion here. One, because it takes away from Tracer, as you mentioned, but two, the control is wonderful around the temple phase, especially on the second phase. You get a bunker usually around that side because you get level 10 when you go into the second temple. So if you get the bunker, you can plop it down right in the middle of the bushes and make it very hard for your opponents to come in and fight that area. And then you add roots on top of it, too much control.
And I really like the way that Grandpa has been playing so far on the hero. So he's done a great job in both games, and now we have Malfurion for them again. So taking something away from Tracer. And now for Diamond Skin, the question remains, okay, how do they deal with this now? Are we going to see them straight going into their own support? Are we going to see them maybe with a bit more damage first? There's still Hanzo around. We still have Genji out there. So all these heroes that have dominated the first few play days are now starting to fall in priority and can be picked up a bit later in the draft.
You make them sound so foreign. There's still Genji and Hanzo floating around the world. Will anybody pick them up? It's true, they are up and available, but we're going to have double support coming in from Diamond Skin. They elect to pick up the Tassadar and the Dahaka. So global play available for them. And they make sure that their front line with that Tracer can be quite annoying with two supports.
I love the Dahaka pick for the reason that we had also mirrored in a previous game, just simply because if you lead with Blaze as the early pick, then you already target the top lane. And if your opponent doesn't take any of the top laners for themselves before the second ban phase starts, you all of a sudden have the option to really dictate who you maybe not quite want to go up against, but you can really severely limit your opponent's options. And especially if you went into Blaze, you already acknowledged that you're not going to play with a global, or sorry, with a side laner that has global abilities, unless you're willing to draft an ETC into the main tank position at the start, and then later on after stage switch around. So going into the Haka now, I really like it because it makes sure that Trick doesn't have the opportunity to ban the Haka away from them. So cool move, and it's something that we've seen a little bit more common now. If you have the early pick on Blaze, you usually try to get a solo laner if you're on the other side, just to make sure that there's nothing banned out against you on that solo lane.
Now, what do you think about this Rhaegar ban? Typically, when you have a Tassadar composition, one of the main go-tos that you can think about is, okay, they probably want to pick up an Uther. They could also run Malfurion if it's available, but Malfurion's taken away, Rhaegar gets banned. Well, Diamond Skin possibly lose Uther to Trick Esport. Do you think they want to grab both supports, or do you think Rhaegar's maybe a little bit more powerful here for Diamond Skin?
When I saw that, the first thing that came to my mind is Lunara. Forcing them into Uther, and then can you maybe play around Lunara? But Trick hasn't played with Lunara yet, and I'm also not quite sure if that is... It seems to be a weird thought process, but something along those lines seems to be going on, because as you said, Tassadar with Uther would have been a good combo. You take Rhaegar away, and of course he has a bit more wave clear than Uther has. But I'm really interested to see what the thought process here was. I don't expect a double support on the side of Trick Esports, but they could definitely leave a last pick damage dealer open to react to whatever Diamond Skin does next.
I'm ready. I'm curious to find out what we can go into, because Hanzo, as you mentioned, up is still up and available. I wouldn't mind seeing an Uther and Malfurion combined together if they're just trying to draft around the idea of taking away the strengths from a Tracer composition. But it's a matter of time here to find out. I like the Cassia ban. Cassia has been annoying and also something that we've seen against Tracer play. But also, when you're facing off against a Tracer and you have the double support in the background a lot, Valkyrie is actually kind of scary to pull support into you, and you can focus that down before Tracer can do anything about it.
We've seen also very heavy melee composition on this map in particular. We talked about Dignitas, and I mean, you said it, how they are focusing more on these setups, and that's something other teams start to emulate as well. Now we're having Greymane taken, and we also see together with that Muradin. So Greymane, of course, fits really well with what they already have here, so I like that for damage. We have now both of the tanks also taken, so again, it's a very similar setup to what they've been running before. Muradin for the Stormbolt, the root follow-up, and even the jet propulsion that can capitalize on it. Now we have Cursed Bullet as an opportunity, unless you want to go for the throw to put more pressure on Tracer, so I like that. And as we already expected, they keep their last damage dealer open, just so that they can now react to whatever is being picked as a support. So they haven't played Lunara yet in 2018, but I could see them go for it.
Is there a weird world where we get triple tank from Trick Esport here?
I could see that as well, yeah.
That's what I kind of feel like, because Uther, will have a harder time running away from a triple tank if they get the engage in the flank they want, and they can actually take down Uther in the kills if they're able to come in from behind. And they have Blaze, who is great in the double soak, so a triple tank composition could work against them based on what Diamond Skin gets now. There's Uther, and there's the Arthas. I like the Arthas, makes it much harder for them to peel into the target.
It's also great against Greymane, of course.
Yeah, great against Greymane as well. So Tricked, what is your strategy? What are you hiding from us? Why did you ban Rhaegar?
I mean, I like the draft so far already.
Yeah.
It's already strong, and they go Hanzo on the last pick.
Okay.
Honor.
Honor. And Redemption. Arthas, Uther coming in. Okay. So we have engaged. We got Greymane kill potential. Good against Tracer. Arthas to counteract each other, so it's all about how they clash. For the most part, I actually look at both these drafts, and I like them for both teams. The Arthas really rounded that out nicely for Diamond Skin on that bottom side.
Yeah, I'm still a bit torn on the Rhaegar ban. It's not horrible or anything. It's just, I'm looking at the statistics as well, and I'm thinking about, okay, why do you ban out Rhaegar? Is it maybe the priority healer on the side of Diamond Skin that you say, yes, Uther would be great here, but traditionally you've been going to Rhaegar? And that's not really the case. We have Diamond Skin with 5 games that they played on Rhaegar, and we have them with 4 games on Uther, so very similar.
Interchangeable.
And if you look at win ratios, they have a horrible track record with Rhaegar. They have only a 20% win ratio with him. They won 1 game out of 5 with Rhaegar. So I'm not quite certain why they felt that the ban on Rhaegar was needed. Doesn't make it necessarily bad or anything, but when I saw it, because we see Rhaegar falling off so much in priority, I expected something that would capitalize on yeah, maybe Lunara, because Uther has more trouble dealing with AoE heal. Then again, you have the double support already with Tassadar. And so they didn't really do that, but they still walk away with a very solid draft.
Well, it's time for game number 3 here as we move into it. Currently, Tricked Esports is up 2-0 over Diamond Skin. And Diamond Skin just hoping to get a win here so he can start making a comeback. Game
number 3. And this could be the last game of the series as we are heading into Sky Temple, and to the left, Tricked Esports with a 2-0 lead is starting things up with Crosby on Hanzo, Alex the Pro-G on Blaze, Macke on Greymane, Remaball on Muradin, and Gran Paquete on Malfurion.
On the right side, in the red Diamond Skin, Nande playing Dahaka, Robodoba on Arthas, Wolfjo on Uther, Darkmok on Tassadar, and Rosmeg will play Tracer.
Definitely ready for the game now. Let's see if Diamond Skin can turn this around, if they have a chance to show that they are able to take games of Tricked Esports and maybe even turn the series around. We had several comebacks already, several reverse sweeps in HGC 2018, the latest one happening in North America. So there is definitely a chance that Diamond Skin can pull that off, but it is going to be a very uphill battle given how strong Trick looks today.
It's going to be on the shoulders of Rosmeg here, which I can appreciate. Diamond Skin having one of their newest players coming in, one of the most inexperienced players who has really started to become his own lately, and they're just giving him a chance. All right, we're in game number 3. We're going to give you double support. Go in. Let's see what you can do.
Okay, so for now we have up to the top lane Dehaka. We're seeing Blaze at the bottom in this moment, locked into a fight with Tracer. And Tracer, we always talk a bit about the level 7 talent on Blaze, but of course when we're talking about the level 1, that's where we see the most adaptation. And normally when we have Tracer on the other side, we see the shield taken, but Alex is going into the Adrenaline Stim Pack again here, just to increase his attack speed and also the movement speed, which would allow him to move out of a precarious situation. But of course, you still have to deal with that pulse bomb on Tracer, and that makes it a bit harder. Oftentimes, the shield is used to counteract that.
Still, the movement speed is just great whenever you're able to use it. If you're not too scared of anything coming your way, it's definitely a decent pickup. I've been seeing a lot of shield pickups against Tracer, so it's interesting to see that Alex Pro-G goes that route, but it looks like he has a lot of faith in his support play from the Malfurion, so we'll watch Alex Pro-G and see how he controls that pickup at the level 1.
He's actually the first one that I've seen try and counteract the pulse bomb pressure with a shield. So in this case, he just doesn't feel the need and thinks it might be because of the slows through Arthas, because of the Haka movement ins, that he wants to make sure that he has that available to himself. But yeah, big pressure at the top lane, a very early night camp taken, and now Trick is trying to get the value with the camp by pushing heavily against the top bot. And they're doing a fair amount of damage with it.
Yeah.
First tower already fallen, early lead and experience, and really utilizing also now, healing him even, that night the mage in the back that can, of course, give you the extra aura. And they are healing it up over and over again just to make sure that they're breaking through the entire wall. Great push by Tricked.
A clever strategy to pull off against a Tracer composition with double support. Try and prey on their whack of wave clear. Force a fight right away, so they grab the Night Camp and take the Greymane to the top lane. And that allows Greymane to get some cocktail poke in as well while you break down the tower. So because of it, Tricked Esport has gotten a level lead over their opponents. Diamondskin not quite finding a kill or two. They'll answer back with their own Night Camp, but Tricked Esports wants to continue momentum. They grab their Giants and they'll aim to push bottom.
I love the timing here, because now we have the Giants pushing through the bot lane and Alex can protect them and really do damage to the bottom wall. So normally what we are seeing is an early grab on the Siege Giants and then you transition up to the top to take the Night Camp eventually. They reverse it. They actually take the Night Camp first, push with it, heal up the mage to get the entire wall, and then they're moving to the bot lane, take the Siege Giant camp and help their solo laner now to push this in while they transition back to the top to deal with the situation the Diamondskin set up with the camp and also those temples. They just need to make sure that they are also getting some shots, because right now they're missing out on both temples.
That's right, Diamondskin controlling both. Wolf goes to the top. He got a couple of shots, but finally Trick shows up to grab their own. Now there is a pulse bomb available for Ross Mag. We'll see if he can find an opportunity to land it down. Robodoba comes over, drops down a Howling Blast, but Rimmer hops away.
Yeah, so Temple in the mid lane has so far been given up, but Trick is now claiming the early level 7. That gives them the lead they need to force this in. And the nice Storm Ball, the follow-up. Wolf Joe low gets the shield. The turnaround attempt by Roskmek as he goes into the back line, but he himself is now in trouble. Tracer barely surviving, and there's the kill as Greymane gets the final few hits, and Uther may have survived, but Tracer was not so lucky.
And that stops the contention over that top shrine, period. Tracer's down for 9 seconds. Diamondskin has to back away. They'll try and mitigate the fight coming their way as much as they can, but with a 7 talent advantage and no Tracer on the field, Trick Esport takes the top fort, and they can make a play for the middle one.
Look at the experience lead they have. Tricked has taken a 1.5 lead in XP this early on, and they are making their play now. And Robodoba is likely to fall if Grandpa Keta gets close enough, but that's not the case. Robodoba barely moves out, and now with level 7 talents, Diamondskin is attempting to contest a bit more here in the middle, but still, this is rough runnings for them. Blaze and Dehaka are just rotating between mid and bot lane for the XP.
Alex Pojik comes in from the side, all 5 here for Trick. They want to grab this temple, and it looks like they'll be able to get it. Dehaka's still in the bottom and hasn't made a move to rotate in. Rimmer's watching the bush on the bottom left to make sure that his teammates will not get flanked if Dehaka does come for the fight. Diamondskin trying to match them here, 9-7. This is their one chance to make sure they get a kill or two.
Yeah, and I don't think they can pull that off right now. There's so much pressure on them. Tricked is moving in. They took the top fort already out. They dropped a few of the walls. They are putting pressure onto the fort into the mid lane, and they're on level 9. They have more than a level ahead still, and that means we're going to see them with a very early level 10. And they are already posturing around the Night Camp again. Is that about to spawn once more?
Wow, 5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds for the camp, so we're going to see that being taken. So they timed that out perfectly. It's a really cool strategy that we're seeing from Tricked. I like it. Perfectly planned out night camps that they're running right now, and that was something that Diamondskin just didn't expect, that heavy push at the top, the Siege Giant camp later on. And there's a risk to that strategy, of course, too, because once you start moving for your night camp this early, there is a chance that Diamondskin, after taking their own Siege Giant camp, just moves over to yours and thinks about grabbing that as well. So that's the downside. If they scout out where you are, they might try and commit to that and set a heavy push up at the bot lane, but this didn't happen here. So now they have Tricked has a massive, massive lead with level 10 abilities.
And Blaze now has the option to choose 2 routes to push. He can push in the middle lane, based on where his opponent's at, or he can join up that night camp and move in for a keep wall. He elects to push in the middle. They float around. They actually are thinking about grabbing the boss. I mean, they have 10 of their opponents down in half, but Dehaka can still rotate in, so they have to be careful and make sure not to get locked down by the boss.
Yeah, the chances are very slim, though. That level 10 is it. Twilight Dream, the kill against Uther. Make that a double. Tracer is down, and they use the bunker just to get the extra armor and to focus on the boss again. Once more, a level ahead. They take the boss down here. They get the 2 kills. It's 3 kills against 0. They're even trying to chase Tacita a bit, and I'm not sure if they can really get him. Nope. Dimensional Shift was still on, but they can definitely get the temple at the bot lane. And the boss is already taking structures out, which means the value of the temple is increased even.
Diamondskin having a rough time here. They'll have to deal with that boss. They're starting to clear it out as they can, but Tricked takes down the middle fort. They group up pretty heavily here with their assassins. Rosmek goes forward with a melee, a couple of blinks. Didn't quite have a pulse bomb yet, but at least he gets a little bit of harassment in. This is scary. Boss, Giants, Temple coming in, push in the middle from Trick. They're dictating the entire map.
Yeah, they absolutely are. They have taken out every single fort already, and they are way, way ahead. The Haka keeps Diamond Skin close in experience. That's the one saving grace, at least for now, that they have the opportunity to keep them a little bit closer with it. But it's just extremely rough for Diamond Skin to come back into this. They can't retreat to any fountain anymore. They have no distance, but they get the kill against Hanzo thanks to Tracer. Well done here. Great play from Roskmek, and that might be all that his team needed to turn things around a bit. Dartmoor committing to Archon as well. Nande trying to go for the drag, but he doesn't connect the tongue.
Good pickup for them. They grab the rest of the Temple Shops as well. They'll be able to take out the well, put a little bit of damage on the fort. And remember, Dahaka pushing the top lane, so that was some experience that were missed for Tricked Esport. And now, when you look at the experience gap, it's actually getting evened up. Diamond Skin just needed one kill now to try and get a fort, and they could actually take a lead in experience if they get the fort and get the middle wave in experience.
I mean, again, that's the advantage that you have with the global. The problem just simply remains in them not having any retreat paths.
Yeah.
So Trick still has to be cautious, because the problem, as you highlighted, is once with Haka getting extra experience and keeping Diamond Skin close, once you start taking structures, you can overtake Trick Esports in experience and in levels. But the structure advantage that we have for Trick should give them a very good opportunity to make plays here. And Nande is going to die down here.
Yeah, just need to hold on to a cooldown to make sure to interrupt his burrow if he goes for. Ooh, even pops the essence there a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't have enough. So they're committing with 4. He's trying to buy a bit of time for them. But of course, eventually he is going to fall. Drag and goodbye. Delaying it even further.
The roots kills him.
Dies to the root. Okay,
that's a morbid thought. Roots just coming up and just pulling you down on the ground.
It reminds me of the dance that they had on the first game. The dance off.
Yeah. Oh, arrow comes out, misses. Trick looking to go for an aggressive invade. Hey, be careful these cooldowns. Roskmek's in a position here to flank.
Thinking about it, this was a really entertaining series so far, even more so than I just realized until now. Nice aggression here against Hanzo again. This time not getting the kill. But the dance-off with Genji on game number 1, Lava Wave Ragnaros in game number 2. And over here, hyper-aggression, 13 versus 13. Trick still ahead, and here's the double temple. And this is where Trick can already start making plays for keeps, and that's the big problem the Diamond Skin is going to experience in this game. If they can hold on to their keeps and if they can take some structures down themselves, they should have a chance to overcome the lead that Trick has in levels and experience. But the structural advantage, that's something that's going to be tougher to negate. Yeah,
they just have to be careful, make sure not to give up too much. Alex Proji comes to the top and they clear out the night camp. Roskmek gets a little bit of harassment, working on grabbing up his pulse bomb. Meanwhile, Trick Esports will take the time to grab their own night camp to the top, which will be pretty instrumental here. With the temple spawning in the middle and the bottom,
good
having
timing
that camp is good. Yeah.
Great timing by them. And now they take control of the bottom shrine. The Haka is still at the bot, so they can also start poking a bit towards the middle instead if they really wanted to. But clearing out the waves is the first priority. Moving back to bottom, and everybody else is starting to rotate there too. And yeah, the keep is going to start losing hit points, or it is already starting losing hit points. They might just be able to take it down with the help of the temple, and that's one of the reasons why Diamond Skin is now moving back down, because they're saying, guys, can we maybe defend?
They'll have to Haka to come in. Robodoba's on the top. Trick is aware they're playing safe. They want to make sure that Muradin is able to heal on up from his trade.
Yeah. I love that switch, by the way. Sending someone else onto the temple and allowing Muradin to get a straight value so that he's going to be on full HP again. And they get the 5 shots, and that should just finish off the keep. It's going to be close.
Crosby takes a pulse bomb,
they don't get
survives.
They don't get the keep. 1 shot is missing. 1 shot missing. The keep is still in there. If they can push out the wave and can get close enough, then also just simply dropping a few hits with Greymane or maybe even just Moonfire is going to be enough. Arrow is missing. That was a big one. Pressure against Ramaballer. But yeah, if they can push that in, that would be the dream for Trick, trying to get the keep pressure.
Good dodge there by Diamond Skin. Realizing how small the hitbox is. As long as it doesn't connect with anyone, it won't explode and, of course, spread out to multiple teammates. Trick Esport continues to hold the bush area with Voss spawning. They want to keep Diamond Skin in this area, but Dahaka doesn't mind. He's clearing the top lane. He'll keep getting experience, and they may be able to take a lead over Trick Esport if they are unable to keep up with the experience.
Yep. experience is definitely where they can come back into this. And by now, we have nearly all of the forts taken out as well. Dehaka comes in, tries to go for the drag. Already the Twilight Green being used as they're going in again. Bunker is on the ground and helping them out. Diamond Skin with a Divine Shield on Rostmek. Wolf Joe is low. The Stormbolt connects. The shield comes through from Darkmork. Uther survives for a bit longer. Is he going to fall here? Alex wants it, but he doesn't get him as Uther gets the cooldown ready and he heals up once more. The stun comes out. But they go for boss after the kill on Dehaka. They can go for the boss now. They got Dehaka, 5 versus 4, and instead of focusing on the keep, they want to go for boss instead.
Diamond Skin has to contest this. They know this. They have to get 16, try and soak in the middle, and then come down and fight. Because if this boss goes forward, that keep is so low on HP that it's going to instantly go down, and Core could be the next target for Trick Esport.
I don't think they can end, though.
Arrow.
Arrow is missing again. Here comes Rostmek into the back line and the kill against Greymane. He gets it. And now the boss is being fought over. Rema goes down. The boss is stolen. And that is potentially the comeback for Diamond Skin.
Trick Esport. Missing out on that boss. Robodoba baiting here. Dehaka's coming in too. That's going to be a dead Oxyprogy.
Yeah.
Diamond Skin is coming back.
I don't know if you really had to go for boss here, because as you said, the keep is nearly dead, right? A 12-minute boss, I don't think you can end. With 16 versus 16 and a 12-minute boss, the Tacita on the other side, for shields on the core, I don't think you can end on the core with it. I would have way more preferred them to simply sneak in and take the keep and then move back.
After they got their kill.
Yeah.
Target catapults moving in.
I was actually, at first I was even surprised that they moved back, and then I realized, okay, they want to go for boss instead. I expected them to move in for the keep. But now Diamond Skin is taking a significant lead in experience.
They're grabbing both temples too.
Yeah, taking the boss and getting these 2 kills was the best case that could have happened to them, because their problem was they were behind in structures. Now, it's exactly about to be the reverse, because Diamond Skin gets both of the temples. They have a 1.5 level lead, and the advantage that Trick got in the early game came at a cost. It came at a trade-off. And now they're losing that advantage, and they needed to prevent that. Now we could see Malfurion fall. Divine Shield on Uther to keep himself alive. Grandpa is running. He is down. Wolf Joe again surviving. Like, he's unkillable today for some reason. In this game, he was so close to dying twice, and he survives every time. Now Hanzo is dead as Rostmek is just popping off on Tracer, getting the kill against Greymane now too. And Diamond Skin is absolutely turning this around and smacking Trick into the ground.
And they're going to move in and grab this keep. 30 seconds before we have even
core.
Greymane on the field. Yeah, they could go for a core. Diamond Skin turns it around and looks for the core. We're going to have Oxyprogy and Rimmer trying to stop the entire engage. They jump straight on Tassadar, trying to slow him down, working what damage they can in. We'll have Malfurion in 5 seconds, but still no damage dealers for Trick Esport.
Yeah, and there's just no way. There was also 2 Siege Giants, and they can just focus on it and take it down. Malfurion is back, but that's not going to be enough. A good root, but that's not going to help you at the end of the day, especially since Wolfjo, when he dies, still has his Ghost Form ready. That's game, and Diamond Skin takes it in a great comeback on Sky Temple. Really well played here by them. And Trick